Welcome to Shom Machshava on the Daf. The month of Av is sponsored by the Einhorn family, Leilu Nishmas and Naftali Ber Rabbi Cheskel. We're holding in Chulin Daf Tzadik Beis. The Gemara right in the top of Amud Aleph says that Baruch Ofanim Hu Amrele, meaning even though Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh Hashem Tzivakos, you have to say 3 times Kodesh before the name of Hashem. We said before, Rashi said that's the Malachim. Says Tosis over here, that's the Serafim. There's a malach called a Saraf, and he's the one who says the 3 times Kodesh. But Baruch Kvoid Hashem, after 2 words, they're able to say the name of Hashem, that is the Ofanim. It's a different type of malach called Ofanim. Now Tosis here adds, then Tfilas Yoitzer we say Ofanim v'Chayos HaKodesh. Not only mentioning Serafim Ofanim, we're also mentioning Chayos HaKodesh, which is a 3rd type of malach. Says Tosis because Chayos are greater than Serafim. So therefore, they also say Baruch Kvoid Hashem V'Koyim. So that's really the lashon that we say in Tfilas Yoitzer. Kulam mekablim malei mal mechut shamayim zeh mizeh. V'noisi ba'af l'shu zeh lazeh. Lehagdish liyoitzer b'nachas ruach. What do they say? B'sof habruah, they say Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh Shem Tzavokos. And then V'oifani v'chayis HaKodesh, they misnasim l'umas Serafim. They are in front of the Serafim, and they say Baruch Kvoid Hashem V'Koyim. So the Ofanim and Chayos HaKodesh are greater. They could say Shem Hashem after 2 words, and they rise in front of the Serafim. Now the Indian we're going to talk about here is Neget Hinyonim Be'Kabbalah that has to do with Malachim, but we're going to deal with the technical aspects that has to do with Nusachs Tefillah. So Reuven Margolius already says the Tosis and Chagiga that you give on base. There it's mashma that the Chayos are not greater than the Serafim; they maybe are equal to the Serafim. And different Lashonis and Sefer HaZoyah are mashma in 2 different ways. How do we categorize the Chayos HaKodesh? So in Sefer Gan HaMelech, Siman Nun Beis, he points out there's 2 Nusachs that we have, is the standard Nusach Ashkenaz and the standard Nusach Sfarad that we have in Shabbos. When we finish Kel Odoin, how do we finish? Shevach Noisim L'Kol Tzval Morim, Tiferes Ugdula. So Nusach Ashkenaz is Serafim V'Ofanim V'Chayos HaKodesh. And Nusach Sfarad is Serafim V'Chayos V'Ofanim HaKodesh. Meaning Nusach Ashkenaz, you first say Serafim, then Ofanim, then Chayos HaKodesh. That fits very much with Tosis by us. The Tosis says the greatest Malachim is Chayos. So Serafim is the lower level Malachim. Above them is Ofanim, and above them is Chayos HaKodesh. Nusach Sfarad is Serafim V'Chayos V'Ofanim HaKodesh. And this Nusach is based on the Arizal. So the Gan HaMelech holds that the Nusach Ashkenaz is the correct one based on Tosis, because you're going in order. You're saying Serafim V'Ofanim V'Chayos HaKodesh. He adds to it also that the word Kodesh is mentioned only by Chayos. Chayos HaKodesh, that's what we mentioned in the Psukim. We never find in the Psukim Ofanim HaKodesh. So the Nusach, the Asfara, the Serafim V'Chayos V'Ofanim HaKodesh, that says first of all it's not meduked because of the order, and second one, why calling the Ofanim Kodesh? But he concludes and says, Al Kabbalah Shim Bar Yochai Tachriya, and it's quoted in the Sefer Shalmei Chagiga, and there in the footnote they mention it has to mean, it means not Kabbalah of Shem Bar Yochai, it means the Kabbalah of the Arizal, because in the Zohar we don't find this Nusach. And Ben Ishchai also, in Shana Beis Pashas Toldos or Zayin, also is Machriya like the Arizal to say Serafim V'Chayos V'Ofanim HaKodesh. So in the Tshuva Sefer Meir Nesivim Chilek Aleph Siman Vov, he has a tshuva that he writes to his son, Moreno or Betzalel. And he brings that the Zohar says, Serafim V'Ofanim V'Chayos HaKodesh. But the Tikkun Zohar, they say, Serafim V'Chayos V'Ofanim HaKodesh, as is brought down the Arizal. So regarding the point that the Gan HaMelech says that we don't find Kodesh only by Chayos HaKodesh, he says, look at the Musaf, that the Musaf in Aritzcho, we say, Aritzcho v'Nagdishcho, Kesoitziach Sarfei Kodesh. So we call Kodesh the Serafim, which is the lower level Malachim. So he says maybe there's a difference if you say Kodesh or Ha-Kodesh. Meaning Chayos Ha-Kodesh, only Chayos are called the Kodesh. But the Serafim and the Ofanim can be called Sarfei Kodesh or Ofanim Kodesh. And he concludes and says that regarding the Shaila, that the correct order should be Serafim, Ofanim, and then Chayos, he says no. We say Serafim first because they say Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. Keneged them, who says Baruch Kvoid Hashem? Ofanim and Chayos. Who's greater? Chayos is greater than Ofanim. So that's the Pshat in the Nusach Sfarad to say Chayos first. Because we're not just going in the order of the Malachim from down to bottom. We're saying who says Kodesh, Kodesh, that's Serafim. And then we go to the other side, who says Baruch Kvoid? Chayos, who are higher, and Ofanim, which are lower. So the 2 Nusachs that we have, Nusach Ashkenaz and Nusach Sfarad, depend on this discussion. And our Gemara is a source to it. We just touched a little bit in the technical details that have to do with it. Obviously, is much more depth to this inyan. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor the Shomachshava Shiurim, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.